The landscape of Vermont's Green Mountains carries a deep Gothic gloom beneath the beauty of its dense forests and historic architecture. This state, shaped by a long colonial past, is filled with settlements marked by bloody trauma, unexplained disappearances, and supernatural legends frozen in time. From ghost towns hidden inside regions linked to mysterious vanishings, to abandoned psychiatric hospitals haunted by the memory of disturbing treatments, and covered bridges said to bring real terror to travelers after dark. This is an in-depth journey through 15 of the most frightening small towns in Vermont. One of them might even be the town where you live. Deep in the wilderness of Bennington County, Glastonbury stands at the center of one of Vermont's most legendary psychological horror stories. Once an active logging and charcoal mining town during the 19th century, it later became a dead zone after industry collapsed and the population fell to zero. The area lies in the heart of the mysterious region known as the Bennington Triangle, where several people vanished without leaving any trace during the 1940s. Glastonbury is surrounded by thick wilderness that has completely reclaimed nearly every sign of civilization. Hidden beneath dark, aging trees are the remains of stone foundations from pioneer homes and decaying wooden cabins covered in heavy moss. The silence feels oppressive and unnatural. In some places, even the sounds of wildlife seem to disappear, creating an unsettling atmosphere and reinforcing the town's reputation as one of the most isolated and dangerous places in New England. Leaving behind the mysterious disappearances of Glastonbury, Hubbardton presents an eerie contrast between beautiful open fields and the supernatural atmosphere surrounding them. This small town carries the weight of a dark history as the site of the Battle of Hubbardton during the American Revolutionary War in 1777. The violent fighting that killed hundreds of soldiers across the surrounding fields and forests left behind a historical wound that has endured for centuries. The now quiet battlefield is often associated with reports of paranormal activity, ranging from shadowy headless soldiers to the sound of ghostly horses moving through the morning fog. Hubbardton's heavy rural silence creates a bleak landscape, as though the cries of past battles remain frozen beneath the mountain mist. We now move toward the crossroads of Washington County to explore Waterbury's darker medical history. This small town, surrounded by rolling hills, is widely known as the former home of the Vermont State Hospital, a massive psychiatric complex established in the late 19th century. The institution holds a controversial medical history involving patient isolation, lobotomies, and early forms of electroshock therapy. Certain parts of Waterbury are still strongly shaped by the presence of its grand but cold Victorian-era red brick buildings. Although some sections have been repurposed, the remains of underground utility tunnels and old abandoned wards still carry a powerful sense of sadness and social suffering. Waterbury offers the image of a small town living beneath the shadow of its painful past, creating an oppressive atmosphere for anyone passing through its historic district. Leaving behind the shadow of Waterbury's medical history, our journey leads to the secluded valley of Northfield. The town is home to Norwich University, the oldest private military college in the United States. Often considered one of Vermont's most haunted locations, its historic dormitories are surrounded by unsettling stories. Local legends tell of a cadet who took his own life in one of the towers, while locked basement rooms are said to echo with crying and mysterious knocking from behind solid concrete walls. Beyond the campus, this town is surrounded by heavily wooded ridges that have inspired local folklore about mysterious creatures and isolated haunted houses hidden along the forest's edge. Its remote setting creates an eerie atmosphere, making parts of Northfield feel frozen in time and cut off from the outside world. Following the Connecticut River into Windham County brings us to Brattleboro, a historic town deeply connected to the legacy of spiritualism. During the 19th century, Brattleboro became a center for the spiritualist movement and alternative hydrotherapy practices. The town is also home to numerous colonial-era cemeteries, tucked among its historic commercial buildings. Brattleboro's landscape is defined by dark stone and red brick architecture lining the riverfront. Narrow alleys between aging buildings and weathered, moss-covered gravestones create a distinctly Gothic atmosphere. Reports of colonial-era apparitions appearing inside historic theaters and hillside cemeteries have only strengthened the town's reputation as a place where the past still seems remarkably present. From the spiritual legacy of Brattleboro, we head to Stowe in Lamoille County, home to one of Vermont's most famous urban legends. Although best known as a winter resort destination, Stowe also hides one of the state's most chilling landmarks, Gold Brook Covered Bridge, better known as Emily's Bridge. According to local legend, the covered wooden bridge is haunted by the spirit of a young woman who took her own life there, giving rise to stories of an aggressive ghost that targets cars and visitors crossing the bridge after dark. Around the bridge, the landscape feels like something from a classic rural horror film. The weathered brown wooden structure stretches over a small stream surrounded by dense evergreen forest, taking on an especially eerie presence at dusk. The creaking of its wooden planks blends with the silence of the surrounding woods, reinforcing Stowe's reputation as a charming small town hiding a darker supernatural side. Leaving behind the haunted bridge of Stowe, the journey continues to the foot of Mount Equinox in Bennington County, where the mysteries of Manchester begin to unfold. Surrounded by massive rocky cliffs, this historic town is known for its abandoned 19th century mansions and local legends about shadowy figures said to wander along the mountain ridges above the community. One of its most iconic mysteries comes from the Equinox Resort, a grand inn dating back to the 18th century. The hotel is widely believed to be haunted by Mary Todd Lincoln, the wife of President Abraham Lincoln, who frequently visited the property. Rooms on the 3rd and 4th floors of the resort's south wing are said to experience sudden drops in temperature, lights turning on and off by themselves, and staff members occasionally seeing the shadow of a woman dressed in Victorian clothing. Meanwhile, Saxtons River offers a pure form of rural Gothic atmosphere. The town looks as though it has been frozen in the past. This small settlement grew around the 19th century wool industry, but gradually declined after manufacturing operations ended, leaving behind rows of red brick buildings and quiet public facilities. At the center of the village stands the Saxtons River Inn, an iconic building that has existed since Vermont's early years. This wooden hotel is known for stories about the spirit of a woman who often appears on the main staircase. Guests have also reported room doors locking and opening on their own from the inside, even when no one is inside. Traveling deep into the isolated northern region of Orleans County brings us to the rural town of Albany. Located far inland and known for its brutal winters, Albany has a long history of tragic accidents, abandoned pioneer homes, and strange incidents involving some of its earliest settler families. Albany is marked by old wooden houses standing far apart across open fields and evergreen forests. But its most disturbing story comes from the Hayden House, a large stone residence built by William Hayden in the 19th century. According to local history, Hayden's mother-in-law placed a curse on the family, declaring that no Hayden descendant would die while still possessing wealth. The curse was later believed to have come true, as the entire family line eventually fell into poverty and suffered a series of unusual tragedies. From the isolation of Albany, the journey turns toward Rutland County to follow the traces of an old sanatorium in Pittsford. The town is widely known as the location of the former Caverly Preventorium, an abandoned treatment facility for children with tuberculosis hidden deep in the woods. Pittsford is also home to a network of stone bridges and old tunnels that are often linked to paranormal activity. Pittsford presents a deeply unsettling post-medical landscape. The wooden and concrete buildings of the former sanatorium stand hollow behind dense trees, with shattered windows and badly peeling paint. The silence surrounding the abandoned treatment complex, combined with the dark structures of its old wooden bridges, creates a powerful mixture of historical and visual horror. Leaving the sanatorium in Pittsford, we continue to Cuttingsville to explore a disturbing story of family obsession centered around its cemetery. This small settlement along Route 103 is famous for the massive mausoleum built by the Laurel Glenn family near the John P. Bowman Mansion. Overcome by the deaths of his wife and children, Bowman constructed an enormous granite tomb decorated with life-size marble statues whose positions are said to change mysteriously. Today, Cuttingsville is strongly defined by the presence of this imposing tomb standing rigidly beside the rural highway. A marble statue of a man holding the key to the mausoleum faces directly toward the old residence across the road, creating a deeply strange and gothic scene. Cuttingsville carries an atmosphere of grief and frozen obsession with death, making it one of the most unusual places in Vermont. From the mysterious tombs of Cuttingsville, the journey moves toward Caledonia County to uncover the industrial ghost town of Greenbanks Hollow. Today, the settlement has completely collapsed into the forest. Visitors find only blackened brick foundations covered by thick brush and moss, while a reconstructed covered bridge above the small river adds to the eerie silence. During the mid-19th century, Greenbanks Hollow was a prosperous wool mill town. Its existence ended almost overnight when a devastating fire destroyed the entire mill complex, stores, and workers' homes on Christmas Eve in 1885. Leaving behind the burned ruins of Greenbanks Hollow, we push deeper into the wilderness of the Green Mountain National Forest to visit another ghost town. Somerset was once an incorporated town, but that status was later dissolved after its entire population disappeared. The community slowly died after the construction of a large dam flooded much of its main settlement. What remains now lies hidden in an extremely remote stretch of forest. The landscape represents the peak of Vermont's wilderness isolation. The remains of wooden foundations and old farm roads have been swallowed by tall grass and massive evergreen trees. A broad, cold reservoir now dominates the center of the former town, creating a sense of complete abandonment where every trace of the hundreds of people who once lived there has been reclaimed by nature. From the quiet wilderness of Somerset, the journey moves to the banks of the Connecticut River to examine the industrial gloom of Bellows Falls. Once one of Vermont's major manufacturing centers, Bellows Falls has a long history of paper production and machinery, but that former prosperity has faded, leaving behind massive red brick factory complexes along the river gorge. Bellows Falls presents a deeply bleak industrial landscape. Multi-story factory buildings with rows of broken windows rise above the steep stone cliffs of the river. Rusting iron bridges cross over dark, fast-moving water, creating the atmosphere of an aging working town in decline, where the silence of empty industrial buildings echoes against the roar of the river below. Finally, we end this journey in the Black River Valley, home to the old industrial town of Springfield. The town is known for the Hartness House, the historic residence of former Governor James Hartness. Beneath this grand property lies a maze of secret underground tunnels connected to an old astronomical observatory. Paranormal activity here is said to be intense, with electronic voice phenomenon recordings often capturing unexplained whispers in the dark tunnels, while objects in the kitchen are reportedly moved without anyone touching them. Springfield was once a major center for precision machine tool manufacturing and played a vital role during World War II. Today, the town continues to struggle with long-term economic decline following the closure of its major factories, leaving behind large abandoned manufacturing areas along the river.